Hello and welcome to yet again, a special program called Cricket Predictor. And Sunil Yashkalra. I'm joined by two of the extremely important guests who've either played on the field of cricket or have watched all the cricket matches since 1990. I'm talking about Paul Denette from Australia, and also joining me in the show is Noel David, the former Indian off-spinner who's played enough in the first-class arena, who's now a coach of the Assam junior team. And he joins me with a very clinical eye talking about the ongoing in the fourth test of the Border-Gavaskar Trophy. First of all, I'd like to go on to Paul Denette. Paul, what do you think how India bowled today, considering that they started off really well in the second innings and suddenly you could see them squandering the lead and letting Australia go away? Will that hurt them?
Oh, I'll tell you what, halfway through the day, as an Australian fan, I just had this feeling of, here we go again. Every time we have India on the ropes, they seem to fight back. And I was feeling really, really sick, actually, as a fan. I've never been this invested in a series. And when Bumrah knocked over Travis Head, and then poor old Mitchell Marsh, I think he's going to be dropped after this performance, looked absolutely completely at sea. And then he knocked over Alex Carey, and I thought, we are in a lot of trouble. And the partnership between Cummins and Labuschagne potentially has saved Australia and gave me a great feeling of relief. But I was calling up the lead every 5 runs. I was calling it up to everyone in the family and saying what it was getting up to. And I think India had a good day. They're gonna really rue some drop chances. Yashasvi Jaiswal unfortunately put down 3. They could prove very costly for India.
Absolutely. Noel David, we're going to come back to Indian batting. Do you think Indian batting has the firepower to combat what Australia has posted for the victory?
Well, see, everything now depends, because the chase is going to be another 20 runs from here. If they put on 350 overall lead and give India to bat, and we are batting 4th on the wicket, second. And you saw how Sundar got out, and Nathan Lyon is a very destructible. I know you cannot trust that guy. He comes up with some magic. Or if it's day, he can take 7 or 8 and let India go down the drain. I feel that the batting order of us is the main concern, especially with Virat and Rohit not in top form. And India will be depending on these 2 gentlemen to get it through for tomorrow's day. And if these 2 gentlemen get the runs, I put it on the board, I think then the chase will become a little sweeter than what we are expecting.
Right. As we inch closer to it, the gratification Indians get. You spoke about the form of Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Let me read out what you're seeing on the screen right now. Is Rohit Sharma in the last 14 innings. He scored just 155 runs with an average of 11. And his last 14 scores are 6, 5, 23, 8, 2, 52, 0, 8, 18, 11, 3, 6, 10, and 3. Paul Denette, if these were the last 14 scores of the top Australian batter, what would the selection committee do to that famed batter?
Well, the Aussie selection has actually shown faith in Smith and Labuschagne and Khawaja, and to a large extent, those 3 have repaid that faith, especially Smith. And Labuschagne today is one of the most important innings that an Australian has played in a long time. He held Australia together. So you leave out players with the class of Rohit Sharma at your peril. Having said that, I think if I was a selector, I would be dropping him for Sydney. Now, to go against myself on that, he is still eminently capable of coming out tomorrow and playing a match-winning innings for India. The pitch is playing up a little bit, but I think that if he can play with some judicious aggression, you never know. But it's clear the pressure he's under.
What if he fails?
I think it's a massive call, but I would be looking somewhere else for the final Test match in Sydney. And I don't know what the culture of Indian cricket is like. In Australia, we kept Mark Taylor playing for like 2 years when we could have dropped him and didn't. I know it would be a massive call, but I tend to think that, to be fair to him, his captaincy was better today. I think some of his fielding positions were good, but when the way that he reacted to Jaiswal dropping the catch off Labuschagne shows the incredible pressure he is under. 1.4 billion people that level of expectation. And, it's very, very difficult. But I'd probably be dropping.
Here's the question. Will you play him in Sydney or will you drop him if he fails?
I'd drop him. But, it would be a massive call. It would be one of the most unprecedented calls in Indian selectorial history. Do you think that they have the sort of the gumption to do that?
That's a question that Noel needs to answer. It'll be a unprecedented, a gigantic move. If he fails in the morning to score any runs and defend the title, do you think it's curtains for Rohit Sharma?
Well, as Paul has said, that the opportunity has been given, and I think it's time for Rohit to really, really come good now. I feel that if I'm in place of Gautam Gambhir, I will speak to him. Do you need a break? I will ask him, because I think he needs a break for what I see. Because we have not seen Rohit Sharma like this at all throughout his career. Because if he fails 1 or 2 innings, he comes good in the 3rd inning. But this is the 14th, this thing that he has been under par scores he's been having. And I feel that it's all depends on the team management now, what step they are going to take. I think Ajit Agarkar will play a major role in this.
Who's currently in Melbourne talking to, watching the proceedings very closely. What kind of a person is he and a player? Because he was your junior in the under-19, Noel.
I have played with him with him in India A, and I know some domestic games and all. He's a quite guy, but when he says something, he means it a lot. It should be done. That's what he is. And I think as a selector, I think that's what he's asking the Indian team also. That's why he's made bold changes. Now, if you take Nitish Reddy himself, no one thought Nitish Reddy will be in the test team. But it was Ajit Agarkar and his coach that they brought him into the side and had faith in him, and he has delivered. I think he's a guy who takes that bold steps, Ajit. And he has, throughout his career also, he's done that. He has done so many things which has been successful for himself and for the country as a bowler and as a batsman. So we know what Ajit Agarkar is asking the Indian team to do or the Indian management to do. I think it's going to be a hot topic in the near future for the Sydney Test, I think.
Well, Paul, if I were to rattle out some facts about Jasprit Bumrah, what do you make of the condition that India is, especially the Indian bowling? In this Test series, Jasprit Bumrah has bowled 700 odd deliveries, taken 25 wickets at an average of 13.12. And all the other Indian bowlers have bowled around 2,000 deliveries with 32 wickets and 41 as the average. How would you compare the 25 wickets to 32 overall, 25 of Jasprit Bumrah? Do you think he's the lone warrior out there trying to defend the field?
I think he's taken more wickets than Rohit scored runs. Not to put too fine a point on it. Yes, but I think you've got to put 2 points on that. One, the other Indian bowlers have been somewhat disappointing, but also Bumrah is all time. I mean, he passed 200 wickets today. He's the only one to have an average as good as he does. He's ahead of Garner, Marshall, Ambrose, Fred Truman. He's at the top of the tree. You could make an argument that he is the best bowler of all time. And today, the Australians, extraordinarily, they were shielding Pat Cummins, our number 8, from facing him. Marnus Labuschagne was declining singles to protect Pat Cummins at the other end. I've never seen that, a number 8 being shielded. That's how highly they rate Jasprit Bumrah. And so, yes, the others have been disappointing. Although I think Akashdeep has bowled well, and today Mohammad Siraj really hit back as he needed to do. So I think he bowled really well today. But Bumrah is, everyone in Australia is talking about it. This may be the best bowler we have ever seen come to Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Rishabh Pant seems to be another cause of concern, and we've spoken about him at fairly detail. What do you think of Rishabh Pant's lack of raising his hands? Paul, the first, it goes to you, and then I'll push it on to Noel David if time permitting.
Well, the Sunny Gavaskar commentary outburst yesterday was one of the most amazing things I've seen on ABC radio. Stupid. It was like, wow, Archer Bogle next to him was looking a bit scared, but it shows the passion that Sunny has. Look, I I have a lot of fear of Rishabh Pant. And I think that the Australians, I think they've done the right thing in not declaring. But plenty of commentators have said we should have declared. One of the reasons they haven't declared is Rishabh Pant, because of what he did at the Gabba 4 years ago, that Australians have been scarred by that and they are terrified of him. Yeah, he's going to play the occasional silly shot, but he'll play the occasional unorthodox shot. And I put him in the same category as Virat Kohli, a fantastic player, and I'm not at all looking like dropping him.
Well, Noel, your closing remarks on the Indian two batters, Virat Kohli and Rishabh Pant seem to hold the key, followed by Yashasvi Jaiswal, because that's the firepower and that's the best cannon India has. Your views on it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the senior batsmen have to lift their hands up tomorrow because, as Paul Denette rightly said, it's time for them to deliver. And tomorrow is the day for them who can do it. And if they do it, I think, everything will be forgotten. Everything will be forgiven. And I think Virat, Rishabh, Rohit himself, I think all these guys may be itching themselves to come good tomorrow.
Well, all will be forgotten if India wins the test match. Hopefully the series and move on to the WTC final in 6 months' time for third time in succession. Well, that's all we had time for. This is Cricket Predictor, sponsored by 1xBet. This is Sunil Yashkaila signing off from Sharjah, thanking Paul Denette from Sydney and Noel David from Hyderabad.
For more such videos, subscribe to the Newsx YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.